So good morning once again to the people who have joined just now. So in today's class, let us begin the class with. Now, can you look at these words? These words are called as compound words. Now, let's see. Newly wed wife. Second word, bus stop. Third one, forehead. Now, newly is one word, wed is one word, wife is one word. Similarly, bus is one word, stop is one independent word, and four is one independent word, and head is independent word. Now, all these words, they are grouped together or they are combined together. I mean, what are compound words? Compound words are the words which are formed with the union of two or more words to convey a special idea or a special meaning. Okay, these words. Now, newly is one independent word, but by taking newly, wed, and wife, we have derived a new word like newly wed wife. Or similarly, bus is one thing and stop is one word. So we have combined those two things and we have made them as single word. Similarly, fore and head. Okay, fore means front actually, and head is the other. What head we have? So these two are combined and we are forming a compound word. So I will read out the definition or the explanation given here. They are all compound words. Okay, a compound word is the union of two or more words to convey a specific idea or special meaning that is not as clearly or quickly conveyed. Okay, if their words are independently written, we will not be able to understand the meaning of that particular word clearly. And for that, what do? We will try to combine these two or three words or the combination of two or three words, and we shall make a new word. Okay, so this is the meaning of compound word, right? As shown above, compound words may be hyphenated. Hyphen means you can see here now there is a small dash given here. This is hyphenated. Written with open space. Now bus and stop has a space. So you can write these compound words in three variations. One thing, you can put a hyphen and make a word like newlywed wife. Okay, where hyphen is there between newly and wed. And similarly, we can write a compound word by using a gap. Like bus and stop, we have made a small gap. Somebody has raised hand, any issue? Bus stop. Similarly, third one, forehead. We have combined them together as one. Okay. So these are the words, the combination of words which are combined together to give a specific meaning. They may be hyphenated or they may be written as open. Okay, or they may be closed. Okay, let's go. Now, the use of compound words is an evolving process as expressions become more popular or adopt special. They follow a gradual evolution from two or more words, which may be separated or hyphenated words to single words. Now just see this one. 1 minute. I'll just minimize this. Okay. Now if you see here, audio visual and audio visual. In the first one, we have given a gap. In the second one, we have hyphenated by putting a small dash. And third one, we have combined it. The words in the first, second, and third columns are called as open compounds. Now, this audio, visual, and copy editor. See, there is open. Copy and editor are having a space. Audio, visual is also having a space. Similarly, second one, they are hyphenated. Audio, visual, and copy editor. Either of the way you can write. Either you can make it as a closed word, or you can make it as a hyphenated word, or you can make it as an open word. Okay, so they are closed words, they are open compounds, and they are hyphenated. But in this unit, we will be focusing only on hyphenated words. I mean two words which will be having a hyphen to derive a new word with a specific meaning. Okay, a hyphenated compound is a combination of words joined by hyphen or hyphens. Hyphen aids understanding and readability. Why are we using the hyphen? We are using the hyphen in such a way that when we use the hyphen, we will be able to pronounce the word properly, or we will be ensuring the meaning of the word correctly. That is the reason we are using hyphenated words. Okay, the reason why are we using hyphenated words is that they make our reading easy. Okay, and we can easily understand the meaning, and we can even easily pronounce the word. Words are mainly hyphenated to express an idea, to avoid ambiguity. What do you mean by ambiguity? Ambiguity means not to have any confusion. Not to have any confusion. Okay. Now, hyphenated compound words are formed when two separate words are joined together by a hyphen. They are joined together by a hyphen. Now you see the words. These are the words which are not there in the text, but they are being written here for your understanding or to give you a extra examples like twofold, check-in, merry-go-round, father-in-law, 72, long-term, up-to-date, mother-in-law, one half, over the counter. Now all these words are individually independent words, but these words are combined together to make a specific word with a specific meaning. Now, merry-go-round, you should not write it like a closed word because it will become difficult for you to pronounce it or to understand what word exactly is there on the board or the paper or whatever it is. Similarly, father-in-law also, we are supposed to hyphenate it and write it for a clear understanding and clear pronunciation. Okay. Right. Now, closed compounds. Closed compounds are the words which are packed. There is no space between them. Okay. So, for example, grand and mother. It's given there. Grandmother. Grand is something which is very big. Okay. Grand celebration. Grand IPL opening. Okay. Grand ceremony. Whatever it is. Grand ceremony or here, example, grand and mother to create a closed form like grandmother. Okay. Similarly, you can see anybody outside cannot skateboard everything, schoolhouse, grasshopper, sunflower, moonlight, snowball, bullfrog, mailbox, railroad, sometimes inside upstream, basketball. Now, all these words are independent words, combination of two words, okay, which are formed by combination and they are being derived as a new word with a specific meaning. Any means anything. Body. These two are combined to form anybody. Out and side. Side is one direction and out is out of this. So like that, skate is one and board is one. They have combined and they have formed closed compounds. Right? Now let's go to the next thing. Now this is very, very important. I need everybody's attention. It's about grammar. Okay. We are going to deal about past perfect. Okay. Past perfect tense. Now what is past perfect tense? Past perfect tense talks about an action, okay, which completed in the past before starting one more action in the past. The only difference between present perfect and past perfect is in present perfect, we will be using subject plus have or has plus V3. That is past participle. For example, eat is a word. Past participle will be eaten. Okay. Past participle means V3 form. Generally, verbs are of four forms. V1, V2, V3 and V4. V1 is the basic form of the verb. V2 is the past form of the verb. V3 is the past participle form of the verb. And V4 is the present participle form of the verb. For example, eat is the V1 form. Ate is the V2 form. Eaten is the V3 form. Eating verb plus ing is called as present participle. So in past perfect tense, rather than using have and has, we will be using the auxiliary verb, that is had. If I say I have eaten my breakfast, in the past perfect I will use it as I had eaten my breakfast. Or you will say we have completed English online class. We have completed English online class. Now we have completed English online class means what? We have completed English online class means it is present perfect. If I say, if you say we had completed, so this was completed in the past before starting one more action in the past. For example, I will tell you now. Yesterday sentence. I had completed my English class and I attended a party. I mean, I had completed. One action is completed and one more action also started in the past. Now, if you observe these sentences, it was 10:20. My father had already left. In paragraph 6, you'll have it. Look at the textbook. If you have it right in front of you. It was 10:20. Now, this is past action. Okay. It was, because was is a, what's a be form. Past. It was 10:20. My father had already left. My father had already left. When an action takes place before a point of time in the past, the action is expressed in the past perfect. When an action takes place before a point of time in the past, I mean before starting one more action, if an action is completed, the action which is completed will be in simple past and the action which is going to be expressed will be in past perfect. When an action takes place before a point of time, the action is expressed in the past perfect. Sometimes the point of time can be understood from the earlier sentences. Okay. So when you talk about past simple and past perfect, for the first sentence, you are supposed to use simple past. I completed my class. Okay. And I have shut down my system. Or I have completed my class and I had stop Zoom call. Anything like that. So one will be simple past, the other one will be past perfect. Okay. For example, okay, I went home. I went home and I had eaten my lunch. I went home. I went home is what? Simple past. And I had eaten my lunch is past perfect. So don't get confused. Okay. Past perfect is used to express an action in the past before starting one more action in the past. Second one. Finally, we reached Dhiran. The bus from Tawang had not yet reached. See, finally we reached Dhiran. Finally, we reached Dhiran is simple past. Action one action is completed. The bus from Tawang had not yet reached. Now, had not yet reached means one action is completed and one more action has started and it is also about to finish. Now, past means completed action only. No, if it is present perfect, it is different. It is past perfect. The bus from Tawang had not yet reached. Had not yet reached is nothing but past perfect. Now, when two actions in the past are clearly separated by time, the earlier action is expressed in the past perfect tense. So one more rule is there. When two actions in the past are clearly separated by time. Now this is one action and this is one more action. So when two actions are there, what is he saying? The earlier action is expressed in the past perfect tense. Now this is the thing which has to happen first. The bus from Tawang has not yet reached. The bus from Tawang has not yet reached means what? This is an action which has happened just now in the past or which has taken place just now in the past. Always remember, perfect tense indicates action which is completed just now. But as we are talking about past, this action has completed in the past before completing one more action. See, we reached Dhiran. We reached Dhiran is a later action, second action. But before that, what has happened? The bus from Tawang has not yet reached. So when two actions in the past are clearly separated, the earlier action is expressed in the past perfect tense. So this is the earlier action. This is the first action. Bus has not reached, but we reached. Okay, bus has not reached the bus station or the stop, but we reached. Now we reached is the second sentence, and bus from Tawang had not yet. This is a primary sentence. So when two actions in the past are clearly separated by time, the earlier action is expressed in the past perfect tense. Okay. For example, we conducted exam or we conducted online class. The children had not yet joined. The children had not yet joined. The students had not yet joined. That's the meaning. So had not yet joined is the earlier action, and conducted the online class is the second action. Now, I quickly sat on a rock. My father laughed at my plight. Plight means difficult situation or a pain. This is paragraph 7. Now, you see, I quickly sat on a rock. This is simple past. My father laughed at my plight. So, sitting on the rock and father laughing happened simultaneously at the same stretch. For example, I am speaking to you now, or I am teaching to you. At the same time, I am looking at you people. Okay. So, when two actions are happening simultaneously, simultaneously means at a time. Okay, I sat here to explain the lesson. Okay, somebody, what do you say? Somebody looked at me. Somebody looked at me. Somebody looked at me is what? Simple past. And similarly, I sat here is what? Simple past. Or we will take one more example. Okay, I I completed my class. Okay, principal came. Completing the class and principal coming has happened at the same time. Okay, when two actions are happening, I completed my class, the bell rang. The completion of the class and the bell ringing both are coinciding, or they are happening at the same pace or the same time. So when two actions, if you wanted to set together also, we can write the sentence by using two simple past tense when two actions are happening at a time or simultaneously. Okay. Now, normally when time relation is unambiguous which is not having any confusion. Ambiguity means confusion. Unambiguous means not having any confusion. By the use of before, after, because, simple past tense or past perfect is optional to be used to refer to both past actions. Now, when the time relation is not having any confusion, when there is no confusion in the time, then there is no need of using simple past and past perfect. Rather than using past perfect, we can write the both sentences in simple past. For example, Sunita never saw a bear before she was transferred to Maridumuli. One please from the story. It is not there in our lesson also. Or I will take one more example. See, before is mentioned here. So when you are mentioning before or because or after, there is no need to express the later action by using past perfect. Okay. When you wanted to write both the sentences as one sentence, and if you wanted to express them, and when you use before or after or because, when you use these prepositions, okay, you can combine these two sentences and write them only in simple past. Sunita never saw a bear. Never saw a bear is simple past, and she was transferred. Transferred is a simple past. Now, actually, we can write the sentence as Sunita never saw a bear. Okay, before she had she had been transferred to Maridumi. We can say she had been transferred, or she had transferred. We can say that. But when we are using before or after or because, at that point of time, you can combine the sentence and write them both in simple past only. Second sentence, I'll read it for you. Sindhu closed the doors because she heard loud noise from outside. Okay. Now, the action is very clear. Why did she close the door? Because she heard a loud noise. The action that action is clear. That is the reason she has closed the door. So we can combine these two sentences by using because. Okay. Sin closed the door because she heard a noise from outside. I never met him after I left India. Met is simple past and left is simple past. Okay. So when we are using after or before or because, we can express two thoughts or two actions only in the simple past tense. I completed my class. before, okay, the bell rang, before the bell rang, or I completed my class after the bell rang. I took the class because Vikram sir was on leave or was absent. Was a simple past only. Was absent or Vikram sir didn't come. Whatever it is. Just example here. Okay. So what I would like to convey is that simple past can be used twice in a sentence when by using these prepositions before or after or because. No need of using past perfect. Okay. Now, this is something which is very important for us. It is in the textbook. In the textbook, I think you have many sentences, but I have written 6 sentences, which I'm going to explain to you now, and the remaining you have to try by yourself. I had come home this time for a special purpose. Now, I had come home is what? What tense is this? This is simple past. I had come home is simple past. To get married. My parents had arranged my marriage. Had arranged. Now, two sentences. The reason is two sentences are expressed in simple past. Okay, and this has started before the narrator saying the story or before beginning the story. So both the sentences are written in past perfect tense. I had come home for this time for a special purpose, and my parents had arranged my marriage according to customs of tribal society. So this particular sentence, my parents had arranged my marriage and I had come home, both are expressed in past perfect tense. The reason is that, so these two sentences have happened at a time before the author started narrating the story. So you can say that past perfect is used as two actions that are already completed. Now this is already completed and this is already completed. Okay, when two actions are already completed, we can write those two sentences by using past perfect tense. Time flew and 5 months into my life, I realized it. Now two expressions, two tenses can be expressed in simple past. Why? The clear idea, time flew, fly, flew, flow. Okay, flew is simple past. Time went away. 5 months into my marriage, I realized it. I realized it, realizing, and at the same time passing away. Please be very clear. Time going away or time passing away, and you are realizing it. Both have happened simultaneously. So there is no confusion about the idea. That's the reason they are used. Both the sentences are used in simple past. Time flew away, simple past, and I realized is simple past. These two sentences have happened at a stretch with clear idea. So there is no ambiguity or they are not unambiguous. I mean, there is no confusion. So they are expressed in simple past. Okay. Time is only 10 minutes here. We'll try to go faster. But after some dilly-dallying, I finally decided against it because my marriage had increased my responsibilities and I had got into debts. Okay. In the third sentence, okay, these two actions occurred before. These two actions have occurred before. See, I had got into debt is one action, and because marriage had increased, both are expressed in past perfect tense. Okay, and this is expressed in simple past. So, what is an explanation here? In the earlier two actions, the past perfect tense is used. Okay, in these two sentences, past perfect tense is used, and in this, simple past is used. In this, simple past is used, and in this two, past perfect is used. Sairam is raising a hand. On my way from the bus stop, my trunk had been carried by a porter. On my way home from the bus stop. On my way home from the bus stop, my trunk had been carried by a porter. Now this is expressed in past perfect tense. My trunk had been carried by a porter, past perfect tense, and the voice is in passive voice. A large crowd gathered at a place I was to live. People had come to wish me luck. So one sentence is expressed in simple past. Okay, I was to live is expressed in simple past, and the third one is expressed in past perfect. So one action just completed before starting two more actions in the past. Father was quiet for some time. He thoughtfully looked at the sun for a moment, and then his eyes fell on the can of the homemade wine that I was carrying. Okay, in this sixth sentence, what is the thing? Both past actions are expressed simultaneously. Father was quiet for some time, that is, was a simple past. He thoughtfully looked, that is also simple past, and his eyes fell. All the three things happened simultaneously, so they are expressed in simple past. Now, let us come to the writing. In the story, The Journey, the author says, my education had made me shun, means decrease, okay, physical labor. Now, this is an adverse effect of education. The adverse effect of education is that he was not able to do physical work properly. Now, most of you people also, there you become bookworms and you don't have any physical work and you become lazy. So, now write an essay on the adverse effects of education. What are the bad effects of education? Adverse effects of education. Sometimes people who are educated, okay, they feel they are proud or they have a status. So doing some work that involves physical labor, that should be there. Dress and fashion, family relationships, giving respect to elders, the treatment of illiterate people. Now, sometimes if a person is highly qualified, he will forget his status. Okay, he will feel that I have more or I have gained more knowledge, and he will be ill treating the other people. Okay, some people, education should not be in such a way that we should become proud or we should become headstrong. Education should teach us how to respect each and everyone irrespective of the knowledge what you have gained. So people are highly educated, their lifestyle is different, their dressing style is different, their relation in the family also will be affected sometimes. Okay, people are more knowledge. Okay, they try to overtake or dominate the other person. All these things will be there. So what are the adverse effects? I mean, the bad effects or the side effects of getting more. Now, this man in this journey, the author, he was educated, but though he was educated, he doesn't want to respect his father. Actually, when his father was carrying a trunk, he should have carried it, right? You should never think that I'm doing a white collar job, so I have to walk like a great person. That should not be there. So, on this, please write your story. What are the adverse effects of education? You have to write an essay. Education is to educate people. Education is to make you live with morals and ethics. Education is to respect people. Education is to teach other people who don't have knowledge. Education is there to bring people to enlightenment, but not for ill treatment of people, or not to show or not to decrease or not to have physical labor. Parents are struggling a lot, and with their labor or with their studious work only, you are achieving something. But when you say that I have become a doctor, I have become an engineer, I'm not going to carry my trunk, my father is going to carry, that's not correct. So we need to change this. So write an essay on this. Clear? The next one, oral activity. You dream, your dream mobile is on sale at your dream mobile here. You wanted to buy a mobile, it is on a sale. Okay, at a never before discount, they are giving a big discount. Now, Dasara is coming, so big discounts, Amazon, Flipkart, something, something. Your earnings are just enough to manage your life, but your income is very less to only survive, to take care of your family. If the shop offers you an installment facility, will you buy it now? So whether you'll buy it or not, it's installments are not at all good when when your income is very less and expenditure is more. But so whether you'll buy it or not, you just write it and write the advantages and disadvantages of installment schemes. If your income is good and if you can save a little, that saving you can put it as installment. But your income is exactly sufficient to meet your expenses, then how do you go for a buying a mobile? Maybe he is giving for a discount or a good discount, 70% off, 30% only you need to pay. But you don't have sufficient money to take care of your family. So will you buy a mobile or not? You should think about it and please write. Okay, write about. Now talk is not there. So right, you just write it on a piece of paper and put it in the WhatsApp group of all the class groups, whether installment is good or bad, or advantages and disadvantages of. Now, writing activity, buying things by using installment keeps you permanently in debt. So when you go on installment, you'll be in depth. Write your points in favor against the question. Whether installments are good or bad, you write it. That one you speak. Before one, you just speak. Oh, wait a minute, I'll show this. This one you write, just record a 1 minute video or 2 minute video and say whether will you buy a mobile or not according to the situation given in the context. And similarly, in the next one, okay, you need to write whether installments are good or bad. Is installment a boon or a bane to us? So with this, and finally, before we conclude, so there's a project work, type of gadgets, human relations before the accessibility, and human relations after the accessibility. When TV was not there, how are the human relations? How are the people talk? Nowadays, you and me, you people are sitting in front of a mobile, and I'm sitting in front of a computer. Of course, this is a need of the hour, but previously to that also, people have become, they have started to look at their mobile and feel that they're talking to their family members. Family relations, love and affection is completely decreased with gadgets. So how was it before and how was it after? What is the human relations when mobiles and TVs and computers and internet was not there? And how are the relations degraded after using these gadgets? You please write it. Take this data. Only don't go outside because of COVID. Try to find out from your neighbors or just in your family only. Right, how was your life before using gadget and how was your life after the advent of gadgets into your life? So with this, I will stop my class. Thank you very much for listening. If there are any queries or any doubts, please put it in the chat box after and disabling it, or you can put it in the WhatsApp group. Thank you and have a nice day.